G'day and welcome back to Semen Retention. To all my brothers on Semen Retention, keep holding on to that good stuff. And today I want to talk about what I believe is the most important text written about semen retention. There's a lot of modern, YouTubers out there and writers that are taking on semen retention books that they're releasing and all that kind of stuff. But to be honest, I think it's all arbitrary compared to probably what was the most detailed and well thought out book released by the one and only Sri Swami Sivananda, and it is called Practice of Brahmacharya. So here it is. Let's have a look here. Yes, as you can see that I printed out this one because this is a reprint for free distribution. So I can actually put a link in this video for you all to download it. I encourage you to go to Officeworks or whatever you've got in your country where you can print pages out and print the whole thing. This is what I did. When I started my streak, I knew about this book and basically I went and printed it out and I was studying Brahmacharya for a solid month. Like I read this book over the course of probably, I'd say maybe just under a month, because I really wanted to kind of really take it in. And that's the thing about reading, is that if you're going to read something, actually digest it and don't just, skim through it. So I thought I'd give you a little insight about this book and why I think it's an important read. I'm going to read you, just to start off this video, I'm going to read you the publisher's note. And yeah, this is by the Divine Life Society. So this must have been some sort of like spiritual retreat, some spiritual kind of like organization where people would go to, improve themselves. I've seen many things like Buddhist retreats, Hindu retreats, I forget what it's called, Vipassana or something like that. There's a practice that they do in my city where they go on I think it's Vipassana retreat for like 2 weeks, and they don't really talk to anyone, they just meditate the whole time. So it's really interesting what these kind of societies and these retreats and community kind of event kind of things can do. But I've never partaken in one, but this guy's book is convinced me at least to be open to the idea if I ever need to do that. So the publisher's note. Let's go from the start. I'm going to just skip through some things that I don't think is worth the while, but here we go. So instincts and appetites form a part of all life on earth. Sense impulses and biological urges are common to animal and man alike. Sex is one of the prominent, most important, and absolutely essential aspects of human, animal, as well as plant life. Sex is an integral part of instinct in animals. In man, it is left to his common sense, intelligence, and his developed reason to control and regulate the same. The vast and ancient scriptures of the world offer human society specific rules and regulations in this respect. With regards to India as a nation, our forefathers followed the do's and don'ts of the Dharma Sutras in meticulous detail, and this, in large measure, contributed to their health, longevity, and spiritual warfare. Wow. The first paragraph of this book, I remember reading that first paragraph the first time and just being like, wow, I'm really going to be tapping into something special. And it's no surprise that me reading this book at the start of my streak got me onto 2 months, which was my new record. And then with that subconscious kind of knowledge, it got me onto the 4th month, the 5th month, the 6th month, the 7th month. And here I'm sitting right here before you, watching this video on a whole year of semen retention. In the present day world, and more particularly among the educated class, in all walks of society and in all age groups, Norms of conduct laid down by scriptures are flouted with so much impunity that we see all around us the number of physical, mental, and moral wrecks increasing every day. One reason for this sad state of affairs is modern man's ignorance of his own scriptural treasures. That's pretty awesome. So it goes on. Swami Sivananda came on the Indian scene in his early 30s to blast this ignorance of the people by offering the hoary wisdom of the ancients through the media of his simple English writings. It is well known that the spiritual treatise apart, the great master, whose love for mankind knew no bounds, wrote a number of books concerning health, hygiene, and medicine. So Swami Sivananda basically was like an original YouTuber, right? He was like the OG guy sitting with his iPhone talking about Semen Retention. And he did more than just that. Like, he wrote books about health, hygiene, and medicine. So it doesn't surprise me. Think about Indian culture. You've got yoga, you've got Hinduism, which involves the chakras and kundalini, and you've also got things like Ayurvedic, meaning like the herbs and the spices and all these anti-cancer kind of foods and roots and things that we can eat. It really doesn't surprise me that, this guy was on to the practice of brahmacharya. So he's got a book that was called The Practice of Brahmacharya, which dealt mostly with the subject of celibacy. And where celibacy was not possible, a regulated sex life. So this is an important thing that the book later goes on about, this regulated sex life. He goes and talks about the kind of different layers, I guess you could say, of brahmachari. So a devout brahmachari is someone that is strictly just them and God. They don't have a family, they don't have kids. They've devoted their life to the God path, which is what brahmacharya means. So whereas the other people that are practicing brahmacharya, that aren't actual brahmacharis, they are what they call householders. So these are your husbands that have a wife and kids, and they understand that the wife still has needs, and to maintain that connection with the relationship, you're going to have to spill your seeds at some point. Yeah, so basically, this whole act and this book that he's wrote and his knowledge was an act of loving service to modern youth. So he was kind of like what all these YouTubers are doing at the time. He was trying to teach young men, don't waste your seed. Keep it for yourself. Don't do this. Please hold on to your seed. Like, this guy was an OG. I'm talking about this guy, Sri Swami Sivananda. This guy. He's an OG. Respect this fucking dude. You should really respect him. He's like the godfather of semen retention. It is hoped that this book of Holy Master Swami Sivananda will fill the above mentioned lacuna and offer the youth of the world the knowledge and guidance which they so richly deserve in vital areas which affect their physical, mental, ethical, and spiritual well-being. Yeah, so this was published in 1988, but I'm assuming that Sivananda was doing this stuff for a very long time before, like, kind of, accumulating knowledge and probably writing. Yeah, he wrote another book called Practice of Brahmacharya. So this is basically a self-help book. Guys, the fact that this is free today, this is crazy, dudes. Like, you can access this for free on the internet. You can access so many real, potent, excellent teachings on semen retention, occult kind of things, manifestation, you know, just so much good stuff is on the internet for your disposal. You don't need to join societies. You don't need to join churches. You don't need to go put your hand on a book and say, I swear by, you know, and join these pyramid schemes. That's what they are. This guy is literally written an amazing book for men to help themselves, because that's what a retainer does. He doesn't do it so he earns money. He does it so then he earns like a spiritual currency. He understands that if he gives this kind of love and this energy towards the world, it's going to just have a profound impact for the world as a whole, which is so much better than getting any sort of sum of money. Money, when you're on a long streak of retention, you understand how kind of pointless money is. You don't really need a shit ton of money in life. You just need enough to get by. I'm not going to get into a rant on that. So I'm going to finish this video just running through the contents of the book. We just passed 11:11 on the video, so please chuck us a like if you like this video. If you want to see more of me kind of dissecting what allowed me to educate myself on semen retention and other esoteric practices, please let me know. Also, let me know if you're happy with me kind of diverging onto different topics on this channel, or if you would prefer it to just be related to semen retention, because I've got a lot of ideas for this channel. So here we go, contents. So it starts with that publisher's note, which I just read to you. And then there's a prayer for purity. And then there's 3 sections to this book, I think, or is there 4? There's 5 sections to this book. Okay, so section 1, the phenomena of sex, or the phenomenon of sex. Okay, so that's section 1, and it's split into 6 parts. The present day degradation. The world is all sexy. Spiritual sadhana is the answer to sex attraction. Brahmacharya is the need of the hour. These are really good chapters. I'm going to read this whole book again. I'm so pumped to read it again. And then part 2, the working of the sex impulse. Part 3, intensity of the cravings in different persons. So he talks about cravings at different levels of your life. So if you're watching this and you're in your teens or in your early 20s, you're in a specific point. If you're in your late 20s and your 30s, you're also in a specific point. If you're in your 40s, different. If you're in your 70s, different. We've all got different uses for this energy at our certain age. Part 4, sex is an imagination. Whoa, that's crazy. Some of these titles are just amazing. The disastrous effects of sexual indulgence. That's a good one. The value of semen. That's another good one. All right, section 2, the glory of brahmacharya. You've got part 7, the meaning of brahmacharya. Part 8, the glory of brahmacharya. Part 9, importance of celibacy in spiritual life. Part 10, brahmacharya for householders. So I told you before, household is like the husband. Yeah. Part 11, interesting, women and brahmacharya. So, I was trying to talk to a woman lately about this, and yeah, quite a few women actually respect it, and then some of them just like, they almost get offended by the idea. It's kind of funny. Part 12, brahmacharya and the educational curriculum. It's pretty interesting. Part 13, some ideal brahmacharyans. That was a really good chapter from memory. He brought up some Indian warriors and Indian kind of spiritual gurus and these amazing figures in the Indian history, and apparently they were brahmacharis. So just like how we've got, just off the top of my head, there's that viral video of Elon Musk talking about semen retention. We've got people living on our planet right now that are huge, like astronomically massive celebrity, famous, genius, business people, whatever, that are utilizing semen retention to achieve greatness. So section 3, techniques of sublimation. So part 4, suppression and sublimation. So I'll say it again, suppression and sublimation. So basically understanding how to transmute that energy. Chapter 15, to marry or not to marry. That's my question at the moment. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Chapter 16, the dangers of promiscuous mixing. Chapter 17, stop that lustful look. This one was really good for me. I went through this full-on brahmacharya mode where I literally just didn't look at women, and it really, really helped me heal and get on the straight and narrow path. Chapter 18, the role of diet in sex control. This is really important. You know, a lot of SI YouTubers talk about what they eat. It's so important. Chapter 19, wet dreams and spermatorrhea. So it's basically like diarrhea, but for your sperm. Chapter 20, some powerful aids and the practice of celibacy. So he talks about some yoga poses, avoiding bad company, watching your thoughts. This is a really important chapter. I might even do a video on some of these important chapters. Chapter 21, Hatha Yoga to the rescue. So he's talking about Hatha Yoga, which is doing yoga poses. Chapter 22, some illustrative stories. Section 4, the last section. Sorry, there's 4 sections, not 5. A symposium. Commentary on Swami Savananda's 8 spiritual instruction. Yeah, so he's kind of like, this is basically Swami is talking in like one of these kind of, you know, seminar kind of things, and they just, you know, transcribed it. The next part, the paramount importance of brahmacharya. Next part, brahmacharya and outlook of consciousness. Marriage, what does it mean? And birth control. And that is pretty much it, I believe. If we go 142 pages. Yep, that was the last thing. So ending the book on on some comments about birth control, which is interesting, because if you think about it, semen retention is the original form of birth control, and not only does it prevent unnecessary births, but it also encourages conscious, high frequency, high vibrational, genius, mature, ultra loving births as well, which is what, if you're going to make a baby, that's what you want. You want to have this intense, purposeful, full loving, unconditional loving attraction and, you know, marriage, whether it be on paper or just, you know, actually a physical and spiritual marriage between you and your partner. Wow, I'm so pumped to read this book. I'm going to read it again. I really, yeah, I'm going to revise it. I'm going to make this a thing. I'm going to make it every year, like every new year, every solar return on semen retention. I'm going to read this book again. So yeah, basically, if you want a direct link from me, please send an email to Stephen with a V, Semen Retention @gmail.com, and I'll send you the direct PDF. Otherwise, search it on Google, you'll find it. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Peace out.